What's going on, everybody? James here, RedoptionAgency.com, 21 years selling on eBay. And maybe I should have said, howdy, partner. I tried on this hat today, and I just left it on. Different look for me, don't you think? Just want to give you guys an update on, since this morning's video, everything sounded so positive. Everything looked so positive, so I shared my positive outlook for the day. Well, turns out, not so much. At the 10 o'clock, I had a cassette sell that was like a $60 cassette. And since 9 o'clock, between 9 and about 3, there's about 4.5 hours before another sale came in. So something just totally changed on the website after 9 o'clock this morning. After about 4 hours, I called in and I talked to a very helpful rep. She put me on hold. She was checking with other departments and other people, seeing if they know of anything that's going on, because at that time, if I'm going to take out that huge lot of items that sold yesterday and they paid today, because those technically did not sell today. So at that point, at 1 o'clock, whatever it was, 1:30, I had 10 items sold. So we were like halfway into my day and I had 10 items sold. So that's like a 20 item day, when yesterday I had 74 items. So, and even on my low days where things seem messed up, like the other day when eBay had that issues where the items were not showing up, I still sold 50 something that day. So something major has changed or is wrong, and hopefully it's just like a one-day thing. When I called, I asked her, and she asked the I forget what she called them, the team. It wasn't the tech team, it was the support team or something like that. She asked them if, when they did the maintenance update last night, would items have to index? Because I just wanted to know for sure, because when I made this morning's video, that answer for me was no, because of the way the morning went. I kind of figured it's going to be something beyond that, and she came back with the answer no. The maintenance that they would not have caused the items to have to index over again. Because if that was the case, that would kind of that would be a reasoning why today has turned out the way it has thus far. I was hoping for, even though I knew it wasn't, I was hoping that would have been the answer, because it would have made it easy. But I have not figured it out yet. I did have errors, though, when I'm trying to draft. It's just saying, well, this is embarrassing, and then I have to go back and try again. But I did see on the item page that was, or on the tech boards, that was an issue. So I am getting that. So as of right now, we're at going on 5:30 p.m. I've only got 17 items sold for a total of $286. Like I said, this includes that hat lot that was bought yesterday but paid today. And I know there was a couple of other things I shipped this morning that was bought yesterday, paid today, but I'm not going to nitpick into that much. I just took out that big chunk. And so, yeah, not even $300 at 5:30. So I remember, or yeah, not even $300 at. So something's definitely off. Hopefully it's just a one-day thing. It's kind of mirroring the Wednesday when they had the issues where things weren't showing up. But that day I had a big surge after like 6 or 7. So we'll see if I get a big surge here in the evening time or not. And that'll determine if it's going to be a day like that day or not. So yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I did find this in one of the message boards. And I know he's not the CEO anymore, but this was back in 2018. I think he resigned and missed during all that lawsuit issues. So he's probably, I don't think he was involved in it, but he was probably like, you know, the scapegoat type of thing where he had to resign to kind of take the heat off the company. He like exited with like a $54 million exit package or whatever. But I found this video that somebody posted.
Another question, Nanette Zupan wants to know, there have been a lot of site glitches recently on eBay. What are you guys doing to get rid of them?
I, I, you know, look, here's the simple answer. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. And we're making a lot of changes. When you make changes, there are times that things happen, but that's not an excuse, and it's not okay with me.
So he's kind of in this video, kind of in 2018 before COVID and all that, they were making changes. And this kind of coincides with that article about the server switchover and pretty much, I think, what we've been battling for the last 2 years. What kind of doesn't sit well now with me is everything was fine for me until this update overnight. So this update overnight did and or changed something, and we'll have to see if there's a rebound from it. And as we know, every time that they update the site, it tears other things up. So I'll give it a couple of days. Unfortunately, it's going to probably ruin the whole weekend when it comes to sales. But we know from past histories, every time they do something with the site that's known maintenance or known updates, it totally messes things up on other avenues of the site.
And this summer, in particular, there have been a number of issues that directly impacted sellers, like people not being able to see their view counts and a few other things. And it's just not okay.
Does that sound familiar with the view counts? That was 2018. And I don't pay attention to view counts personally, but I know a lot of you guys are still dealing with those issues.
Right? I'm extremely proud of a lot of the things we've done. I'm not proud of that. And in fact, I hold my team accountable, and it's not important. It's an internal matter, but we made changes to people and teams because shipping product that isn't ready is not okay. It's not okay.
Now that's a big one right there, because this is what I feel like they do not do. And when he said that line, even at that time, I kind of felt like that was just what is going on with this return? Somebody's trying to return multiple items. Anyway, it kind of felt like a politician story, right? Saying what some people want to hear. Because even back then, we know that every time they launch something, it never seemed ready, as it still kind of does these days.
Okay with me, and it's not okay with my team. So the short answer is it's not like we don't get it. We are making a lot of changes, and I want to make those changes. We need to make those changes as a community. But making changes and then having to back up and fix things is not cool. And I totally get it. And we heard it loud and clear.
He said it all right there, and it's still the stuff we're dealing with to this day. We do have on record how long the change was going to be, 3 years. We know that change usually takes longer because they run into snafus. And like he said, when they launch something, then they have to go back and fix other things. And that's not cool, but that's always seemed to be the eBay way. So it kind of all plays together and ties together. I'm just kind of making this for you guys because this is the roughest day, and probably and even when I was battling server errors and system failures for that 2.5 years or whatever, there hasn't been a day as bad as today. So if I'm feeling it this bad, I'm making this just in case you guys are too, and to try to like a positive reinforcement that hopefully better days are coming, more consistent better days are coming. There it is again. How many items is this person returning? Oh, it's that big blank hat order that I sold the other day. That's 4 of them he's returning thus far. All right, but anyway, let's see.
Most of the issues from this summer have now been remedied, but I was pissed off.
We were too.
But anyway, I think a lot of us are still peed off. But anyway, to me, it just sounds like a salesman's answer overall. But it kind of gives a layout on how they do things and what has always been done and what is still being done. There's number 5. You going to return them all, buddy? So yeah, I just wanted to make that for you guys so you could see that. So, and just because there's been, you know, so much frustration in the last 2.5 years that we've all dealt with. And you know, a lot of us are, you know, a lot of you guys are still dealing with it even more than I have been the last 15, 16 days. So, like I said, I think I've had, what, 5 or 6 days in the last 16, or 4, I don't remember. But anyway, but today's been the worst of the last couple of years. So hopefully whatever they did overnight was not a change that's causing this, per se, like a layout issue or a new structure or a new search update, whatever the case may be. Hopefully it is a bug that's causing today to be what it is, and that will be remedied. So we can only wait around and find out. Of course, I'll give it through the weekend. If it's, you know, this type of thing every day, I'm going to start, you know, doing like I did before, calling in, trying to, you know, raise up as much dirt as I can and trying to hold them accountable for the actions, you know. That's all we can do from the outside when we're not told, you know, the answers. All we can do is put it together and try to hold them accountable for it all. So let's see if there's anything here real quick before I end the video, just to see. Questions or comments. Slow again. I think I had one good normal day about a week ago. Since then, very slow. 5K items in my store I add daily. So I have been doing well on auctions only. Isn't that weird? That is weird from my standpoint because, yeah, I haven't done auctions in over 2 years, and I've explained why. It's because I went from 100% sell-through rate on my auctions to 0 the next month on the same type of items. So I have not tested the waters and really have no need to at this point. Next up, crickets for me yesterday and today, so I keep pushing and adding more listings. And that's all we can do, is just keep going and adding more listings. I've been slacking today because it's been one of those days I've been trying to figure out what's going on. I'm only at 30 today so far, so definitely way behind. But next up, I noticed they have an option to let AI do the item description for you. Pretty cool. It does like 2 paragraphs based on the info you add. I must admit the description is the hardest part for me. I can't think how to describe an item in an exciting way. This does it for you. I'll play with it just to see, not knowing too much about it. I fear, you know, for me, descriptions are pointless anyway, especially now that they put ads in between our pictures and a description. Rarely anybody goes to the description anymore. Plus, then you're going to have to read through it and make sure everything that they say pertains to your listing, so that it don't get taken down for misrepresentation, or it doesn't lead to a negative feedback because the AI kind of misrepresented it or overhyped the item. So there's number 6. So be very careful on that. Because I always like to undersell and overperform, basically. And if AI is doing the overperforming, it could turn into some negative feedbacks for sellers. So be very careful, I would say, using that. But like I said, I haven't even looked at it yet or even tried it or messed with it. So that's just coming out of pure ignorance right now of not knowing anything about it. I personally think sellers are going to quit in droves. They already kind of are. There's been a lot of smaller sellers who have given up. But that being said, it could have been just a lot of the COVID sellers who jumped on board at that time, you know, when they were off of work and what have you. It is getting ridiculous that even when building a store over time, the sales are stagnant, when it should be the opposite when improving a storefront. 100% correct. That's what the past 2 years have been felt like for me, is no matter how many items I put up, that the numbers were not improving. But like I said, just keep going, because the last 15 days, the majority of the days, I'm getting 90 to 95% of the results I feel I should be getting. Before, around a month or so ago, when I started selling on eBay full time, there's the next one, number 7. Guess he's just going to return them all. I ran, and I think eBay is probably going to charge me like $5-6 per hat. I don't know how that returns work on lots. I might just have to block this person so it doesn't happen again. I ran a construction business. I found a little niche in building commercial and podcast sets for politicians for years and years. Nice. Very nice. I'm sure we could have a very interesting conversation about it. Oh, I'm sure. Great video, my friend. Glad to see you smiling again. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you much. Sitting on 39 views for 440 items in 13 hours now. No sales. The CEO has got to go. I agree with you 100%. The CEO, the way things are being handled, period, is not very professional. But like I said before, I think that's just so, there's the next one, just so that the stockholders don't lose money. I think that's why the hush is. So, like I've been saying, the more noise we make, it's kind of like starting from the bottom, but the more noise we make, maybe something will happen. To some degree of something, whether that's a bigger, like a newspaper picking up an article about it, or whatever, just more eyes on it, basically, getting it to the public's attention, if you will. All right, I think we'll leave it at that. And thanks, everybody. Just wanted to update you guys on what's going on, because it's not a pretty day whatsoever. So just to kind of give you guys a little solace, if you will. Is that the right word? A little peace in your brain that it's not you. It's me also, and one of the worst days ever for me that I can recall. So, alrighty, everybody. I will see you all in the next video. Later.